everybody. I haven't been on forever. It's my habit. I've been in law school, and I've also been studying a lot of chess. Although you might not, it might not be noticeable, but I have been. One thing I haven't been studying is openings for white, which is why I'm still playing this crap. I've been studying openings for black, but it's going to take me like over a year just to get my black repertoire done. Just because I'm like learning it for real, and it's a ton of work. Um, um, I guess I should play on the queen side here. That's kind of an irritating move because I was going to play a5. Well, in any event, I should try to keep this bishop, so I'll play h3. It's pretty thematic in the London system to keep the bishop. While I think of my plan, I mean, I have a little bit more space. His pieces are a little bit awkward. Knight b6 looks strange because the queen will be kind of stuck, although I don't really see any way for me to... Okay, well, clearly I have to take with a pawn, or else e5 wins a piece, so that's... He's still going to play e5, huh? Yeah, that's an interesting move. Um, if I take, it kind of frees up his pieces. If I don't take, the question is, does he have any tactics with pawn takes pawn? Um, I don't think so. So I think I'm going to go back. I have a weakness on c4, but he has a weakness on d6, and his weakness I think is a little bit more pronounced than mine. If he takes on d4, that is. I don't think he will take on d4. Maybe he will, but it seems to me that that would be a problem for him. Although, it's also a problem. My d4 pawn is a problem in general because it prevents him from playing knight c5. I think in retrospect, my move a4 was completely wrong. Well, that looks to me to be completely bizarre. He puts his queen on the same diagonal as my bishop. So the move c5 looks very interesting here. c5. If he does pawn takes c5, I have pawn takes e5, which looks completely winning. And if he doesn't, what if he does pawn takes here? No, that doesn't work. I think c5 looks very nice. Um, yeah, pawn takes looks really good. Because when I move the pawn forward, I'll have a discovery on the queen, and the knight will be hanging. Am I missing something? I feel like this should be just completely winning. Oh. Yeah, I missed that. Well, still, this actually doesn't look so bad. How does he... What does he do with his queen? What does he do with it? He puts it there. This looks... This looks really bad for him. This has to be winning. There's no way this is not winning. I just have to demonstrate it. How do I do this? How do I take advantage of this positional nightmare for him? If I could play queen d8 here, no, it wouldn't work because he would move his bishop. What if I could just take the knight and then take on h5. That's obviously the simpler way to play this. But no, because then he takes h2 a check, and if I take and takes the queen, I mean knight takes, bishop takes, and queen takes. That doesn't look good. What if I'm going to play prophylactically so that this looks silly, but the idea is that I don't want him to be able to play knight takes f3 at any point with check. Now his knight is completely pinned, and it's kind of up to him to demonstrate or to move. I guess he has bishop e6. In fact, it looks almost forced. Bishop e6. But it does have its own drawbacks, I think, this move. Yeah, maybe my king h1 was just stupid. It looks so subtle, but it was actually stupid. The pawn on e7 is still out there. What if I take, and now I play... I should have done this earlier. Now I play f4. If I'd done this move earlier, this would have been crushing. Now it's just okay. And now f5. Yeah, this looks very interesting. Yeah, now this isn't as good as the other variation. I really screwed this up. I was going to say something a little bit more. Well, I have this move, and actually, King H1 works now because he can't take the bishop. Because I would have played f7. I'm smarter than I thought. Rather, I got lucky. I have rook f8 now. Actually, I'm going to take this. If he plays bishop takes h2, then I have a very nice check on f6, and also rook f8 looks very interesting. If he takes on h5, queen takes h5 looks very interesting. Pawn takes, queen takes. If he does, what's the threat? Oh, you can take my knight. No, but then I take his bishop. If he takes my bishop, oh, I think this has to be winning somehow. It seems that everything is in the air. It's funny to me that King H1 actually ended up being helpful. Oh, and he resigned. Huh. Anyway, the variation that I laughed about was here. If my king were on g1, he would have the move bishop takes here. But now, because it's not check, I have this move. Yeah, and that's it. That's a game if he lets me play that. Let's see what happens if I play this move and move earlier, and I play f4 here. I guess he has, again, bishop d4 check. And yeah, this king is just so poorly placed on g1 that maybe it's not so silly to play king h1. Anyway, after finals, I very well might start uploading videos. I've gone through, done a ton of endgame work, and I've also done a lot of tactics. I'm not sure. There's so much variation in the difficulty. Like some of the problems in the book I was doing were like 3 moves deep, but they were weird moves, and other problems were like 13 moves deep. And I don't know. I feel like the skill level of the audience varies greatly, so it's hard to. Maybe I'll do various tactics problems of different levels. What's cool about the book, Forcing Chess Moves, is that it teaches you to find moves that aren't natural forcing moves, that aren't checks, that aren't... Sometimes they're not even captures, they're just, strange moves. And it's really helpful, actually. Although, in Blitz, I don't really seem to see anything. Well, this isn't actually Blitz, this is the 5 pool, which is harder than Blitz. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll get back to you. Bye.